MMA Fighting presents Timeline, George St-Pierre. January 31st, 2004. UFC 46, Supernatural, Las Vegas, Nevada. The 5-0 George St-Pierre makes his UFC debut against top-ranked contender Karo Parisyan at the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. St-Pierre wins by unanimous decision. April 19th, 2008, UFC 83, Serra vs. St-Pierre 2, Montreal, Quebec. We fast forward to April 2008. After winning the UFC welterweight belt at UFC 65 over Matt Hughes, GSP would go on to lose the belt to massive underdog Matt Serra at UFC 69, in what many consider the greatest upset in MMA history. After working his way back up the ranks, the now interim 170-pound champ is set to rematch the champion, Matt Serra, in St-Pierre's home province of Quebec. GSP proves the first fight was a fluke and easily dispatches of Matt Serra by second round TKO. July 11th, 2009, UFC 100, Las Vegas, Nevada. The GSP era is now in full stride. After dominating title defenses over John Fitch at UFC 87 and BJ Penn at UFC 94, GSP is set to face Muay Thai specialist Thiago Alves in the co-main event. GSP wins by unanimous decision. March 27th, 2010, UFC 111, St-Pierre vs. Hardy, Newark, New Jersey. The reigning welterweight champion St-Pierre is set to defend his belt against Dan the Outlaw Hardy.
What are the next 48 hours looking like for you in terms of what you do mentally to prepare for the fight?
Right now, I see it a little bit like like somebody that play golf. I already swing the ball. The ball is already in the air. My training is done. I cannot do nothing else to get more prepared than I am right now. I cannot be in better shape, cannot be stronger. It's all done. So just, I believe now it's more mental and tactical, you know?
He says that he's mentally stronger than you. Do you feel as though that people still rely on that 2007 fight against... That was the only time that you've really been rocked, and people keep bringing it up. You've done so much since then.
Absolutely. It's there is no certainty in mixed martial art. Nobody is invincible. The only thing I can control is that I've done the perfect training camp of my career, and by doing so, I flip all the odds on my favor.
Despite the dominating performance, GSP is unable to finish and ends up winning by unanimous decision.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm not happy about my performance. The way I fight, it's very scientific. I always, my goal is to win. Like tonight, my goal is to win, and I didn't want to engage the battle where my opponent is the strongest. I wanted to fight him where he's the weakest. Even though I could probably have stand up with Hardy, it's mathematic. If I would have stand up with Hardy, his stand up, even though I believe my stand-up is superior, but it could have been a risk because that's his main asset. If I go on the ground, I knew my ground was much better than his, so it was smarter for me to go on the ground and take the fight where he's the weakest. And that's how I fight. I want to have a long career, and I want to be champion for a long time, and I want to be the greatest. I wanted to take him out tonight. I wanted to take him out, and to take him out, I had to fight him where he was the weakest, but I didn't, unfortunately.
And Dana, obviously a lot of questions about this event, but let's start with GSP. You said that a lot of people were texting you. They were unhappy about this show. Some British journalists were saying that they were comparing GSP to Floyd Mayweather. Were you impressed with what he did out there?
Listen, every fight you have isn't going to be the most exciting fight in the world. You know me, I want exciting fights. But George St-Pierre, you know, he went out there, it was a dominant performance. He's unhappy with his performance too. So, yeah, listen, I'm not going to sit here and smash the kid. You know, like I said, it was a dominant performance. He wanted to do better. I obviously wanted better, but Dan Hardy came to fight, man. Dan Hardy's a tough kid with a lot more game than people gave him credit for or realized. And, you know, it is what it is.
December 11th, 2010, UFC 124, St-Pierre vs. KOSCHECK 2, Montreal, Quebec. St-Pierre returns to Canadian soil and faces Josh KOSCHECK once again.
So now I'm fighting Josh KOSCHECK I fought him before, and people say, "Oh, the pressure is on you. You're in Montreal." It's true. I'm in Montreal. You know, but I'm at my best when I'm fighting in my hometown. But also, if I win against Josh Koscheck, when I'm gonna beat him, it's gonna be the end of it. It's gonna be 2 times that I beat him, and if he has the same mentality as me, Josh Koscheck gonna have to reconsider the career, because if he want to be the best, now he's gonna lose 2 times to me. It's gonna take a long time again before he go to the title, or maybe never again. So he's gonna have to climb up the ladder a long time. So I'm gonna beat him Saturday night, and it's gonna be the end of it. I'm not gonna talk about him for a long time, and I am gonna feel very happy.
How do you expect this fight to play out?
Expect and still UFC welterweight champion George Rush St-Pierre by finish.
St-Pierre jabs his way to victory, breaking the challenger's orbital bone early in the fight. GSP wins by decision.
I wanted to finish a knockout or a submission, and he's very tough, you know. Like I closed his right eye, so I was going a lot with the hook and the high left kick, because I want to knock him out, you know, standing up. But he's very good, you know. Like he's very tough, and my punches didn't land on the target, on this chin, as much as I want to finish him up. But next time, you know, it was a good fight, entertaining, but I wanted to finish him. That was my goal, and I did not reach my goal. This question is a little bit complicated, because if I go up in a weight class, I'm gonna have to put muscle in, you know, muscle on my body, you know, because I'm gonna be too small for 185. So if I put muscle on my body and I go up to 185, I'm gonna have to stay in 185. You know, I don't want to go up and down, because when you go up and down, you see what happened to Roy Jones. They messed up the reaction time. And boxing and mixed martial art is different weight class. And in boxing, I think it's 8 pounds or 10 pounds, if I'm 7. But and in MMA, mixed martial art, it's 15 pounds. So it's even more. So play with your weight. You need to be careful with that. You know. So I'll see. You know, I just finished my fight. I did not even consider that the question. I haven't talked about it yet.
April 30th, 2011. UFC 129, St-Pierre vs. Shields, Toronto, Ontario. St-Pierre is booked against Jake Shields to defend his title at the Rogers Centre in Toronto, Ontario.
So, you know, in the lead up to this fight, you've almost had to sort of convince people how dangerous Jake Shields is. It's been interesting, and you've had to do this for your last few fights, telling people what this guy has done and how tough he is. Does that get annoying after a while, that you have to almost tell the critics out there that you shouldn't sleep on this guy?
Absolutely not. If I get in cruise control, I'm gonna lose the fight. So I fight the best guy that I've fought, and I'm glad to fight him. I wanted to fight him for a long time, and Jake Shields is gonna bring the best of me into that fight. I look forward to it.
You know how people are always looking for things to criticize you about. In the back of your mind, are you trying to finish this fight to just, you know, not answer those questions anymore about your fights going the distance?
No, tell you the truth, I want the finish. You know, it's hard to finish a guy that doesn't allow them. You know, doesn't completely goes forward. You know, to attack me. You know, a lot of guys but I know one thing is Jake Shields gonna bring the best of George St-Pierre, and that's why I'm looking forward to this fight.
Over 55,000 fans filled the stadium to watch GSP once again defend his title and win by unanimous decision. The attendance and gate revenue break North American records for MMA.
GSP's performance, what do you think of it?
Listen, George St-Pierre, I think he won the fight. He was dominant. Something wrong with his eye. If you're looking for criticism from me, which sounds like you are, the only criticism I have is he was throwing a weird overhand right, like this looping overhand right, which I've never seen him do before. Usually he throws that straight Superman punch. His punches are straight down the pipe. I was trying to figure out why he kept throwing the same punch all night, and he's throwing it hard, like he was trying to knock him out, like he was trying to force the knockout. So
is the criticism fair? Because, you know, I'm sure you heard from some fans and people talking already. He's not going for the finish. He doesn't seem to have that killer instinct. Would you agree with that?
Nobody said anything to me. When I was leaving here tonight, everybody said great fight. Nobody said anything negative about the fight whatsoever to me.
So no problems in terms of the fact that he hasn't finished anyone in a while or anything like that. He's just fighting tough guys, in your opinion.
Yeah, listen, when you're at the level he's at, you're going to continue to fight the best guys in the world, and, you know, George St-Pierre keeps winning. He keeps winning. He isn't catching anybody with any exciting front kicks or anything like that, but he's a winner.
November 17th, 2012. UFC 154, St-Pierre versus CONDIT, Montreal, Quebec. After being sidelined for over a year with a devastating knee injury, GSP returns to fight the now interim champion Carlos Condit.
But I don't want nothing less than a title shot, and fighting the best man in this division is Carlos Condit, and I don't want to come back and fight an easier guy. I want to be the top guy, and I need to fight the top guy, and I need to thank the UFC for the opportunity, and I'm very happy to be here and be fighting him.
And George, by now you have been asked all the questions about this fight, and I could tell you're getting a little tired. I did hear you say yesterday you're happy to see the media again, which warmed my heart. So I'm going to ask you some other questions today. Are you ready for this?
Really, I'm surprised. It's quite different as usual. It's all right.
You don't want me to ask you different questions?
No, I would love it, because I feel like a tape recorder, you know.
You're going through the motions, as they say in the business.
Yes, I'm on cruise control. You know, this answer, this question equal this answer. Like I don't even think. It's just.
If there's one thing you could do that you haven't done in your life, regardless of UFC, MMA, all that stuff, what's the one thing GSP would like to do?
Would like to do? Going back in time. If I would have a time machine, that's the thing I would like to do.
Which era?
Cretaceous era. See the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
So like Jurassic Park?
Absolutely. That would be my dream.
Would you take me with you?
I would love taking you with you, yeah.
It is a deal.
St-Pierre wins by unanimous decision.
I'm happy. I give everything I had. You know, I live everything I had in the octagon. I was exhausted. We say in French is an expression. My cornerman was yelling at me, put him in red. Like in red, that's mean like give everything you have every round, so you come back, you're exhausted, and that's what I did. I give everything I had. I have no regret. I fought the best I could, and I have to give Carlos the credit, because he's number one guy. You know, so I give Carlos the credit. You know, people sometimes they forget I'm fighting the best guy in the world. You know, so they say, oh, the finish, but the finish, you know, it's not always easy. And regarding the credit, I give everything I had. I have no regret. I give everything. I fought for my fan. I left everything out there, and I had fun. I had a blast tonight.
March 16th, 2013, St-Pierre versus Diaz, Montreal, Quebec. Once again, in his home country, St-Pierre is finally set to face one of his most vocal rivals, Nick Diaz.
He said, I'm sure my past doesn't compare to Nick, and I don't even know why we're asking this question. The reason why we're fighting each other is because I believe Nick is the best guy right now in mixed martial art, and I'm fighting him because he's the best guy. Has nothing to do with.
Yeah, but you told the fans that I deserve to get beat down, and you told the fans that I chased you around, or you told the fans.
You told the fan I was scared of you and avoiding you.
Yeah, I got the fight too, right? You can understand that. I'm working towards something here. All right, everybody knows that, you know. And sorry I had to do that to get the fight, but you know, you know, they're selling you all wolf tickets, people. You're eating them right up. George here is selling you wolf tickets. Dana here, he's selling you wolf tickets. The UFC is selling you some wolf tickets. You guys are eating them right up. That's what happened, bro.
Do you really think I'm afraid of you?
Hey, that's fine. Okay, no, I don't.
You think I'm afraid of you, man? Are you crazy in your head, man? I'm not scared of you. You'll see Saturday if I'm scared of you.
All right. I'm intimidating, right? That's my plan, to intimidate you out. Okay. I don't believe that the world champion is afraid of me.
I don't
believe the world champion is afraid of anything.
I'm not on steroid, man.
I don't think that. I don't think you're scared of anybody, bro. I don't. We'll see if they test who for steroids or what.
I hope they do.
Okay.
I hope they do.
Yeah. You hope they do. What, for me to test positive for steroids? Ain't gonna happen.
St-Pierre wins by unanimous decision.
My game plan was to stay. He's very good in boxing range, and a close boxing range. I didn't want to fight a fight in a close boxing range. I wanted to fight a fight in a kickboxing range, all the way in or all the way out. And on the ground, he was very hard to control. He had a very unusual style of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is very hard to train for, because I brought a lot of very good high-level guy, but nobody is quite similar to him. I never seen someone like this. So it was very hard to hit and very hard to control. And it was very slippery too. I got a little bit tired too. Tell you the truth, around the third round, it was weird. But I give my best, and it was a tough fight. It was animosity before the fight. Then after the fight, yes, it's true, we hug. And then right when I went to do an interview with Ariel Lawani said that he just said that I hit like a girl, that he want to fight me in a rematch immediately. So I guess we're back into where we were. But I don't take it personal. I mean, he's got he been in this. I always respect everybody who do this job. It's a very tough sport that we're into. It's the UFC. They have the best fighter in the world, and we all come from a different background. But to reach the point where we are in the UFC, it takes a lot of sacrifice. We all come from a different road, and I have the highly respect for everybody who fight in the UFC. Everyone, I have the highly respect for everyone, because that's mean they made a lot of sacrifice to be there, and they work very hard.
November 16th, 2013. UFC 167, St-Pierre versus Hendricks, Las Vegas, Nevada. St-Pierre will defend his belt for the 9th consecutive time against Johnny Hendricks.
Leading up to your fights in the past, oftentimes not a lot of drama. A lot of drama going up to this one. And let's start with this. La Presse, a couple weeks ago, you told them you were, quote, very disappointed in the UFC, that they didn't back you up with the whole drug testing thing. Where do you stand on this now? Are you still upset with them?
I'm not upset. It's just that I'm the one who stepped in the cage, and of course I care if my opponent is on illegal substance, because it gives a significant advantage. But I believe I'm the best fighter in the world, and I will overcome anything if anything bad is done.
Do you believe Johnny is on any kind of illegal substance?
I never said anything like this. The only thing I said is I'm a man of my word. I said I was going to do the VADA testing, and he said the same thing, but he refused to do it. And I cannot speak for him, the reason why he refused to do it. I wanted to do it because I'm a man of my word. I wanted to raise the bar for the sport, do something good, and unfortunately he didn't keep his word, so I didn't say anything. You have to ask him. Listen, the question, I've been asked the same question. There's been 3 fights already. I love my job. I said 3 fights ago, and I'm saying the same thing. I don't know when I'm gonna retire. It could be in 1 week, could be in 5 years, and 10 years. But right now, I'm really happy with what I do. I feel very happy, very motivating, and I'm planning my next fight, not my retirement.
St-Pierre wins a controversial split decision. At the post-fight press conference, GSP announces his retirement from MMA.
I'm blown away that George St-Pierre won that fight. And listen, I'm a promoter. He's the biggest pay-per-view star on the fucking planet for me, and I still don't think he won that fight. I want what's fair, and that wasn't fair. I think the Nevada State Athletic Commission is atrocious. I think the governor needs to step in immediately before these guys destroy this sport like they did boxing. Who has the next question?
Well, if just to follow up on that, I mean, we talk about it all the time. What alternatives are there, and specifically to Nevada?
The alternatives are that the governor needs to step in and fix the incompetence that is happening in the state of Nevada that used to be the best commission in the world. It's absolute 100% incompetence, and it needs to stop. It needs to end. I'm fucking scared to come back here and do fights. I'm afraid of this state. And it's not about what's and I guarantee if you did a poll, I mean, not many people think George St-Pierre won that fight. I haven't talked to anybody except Dave Meltzer and the other gentleman here who, outside of here, thinks that George St-Pierre won that fight.
So what was your take? Can you explain what you said on television about you were upset that George was talking about retiring and not giving Johnny a rematch?
I'm not upset about him. Listen, when a guy wants to retire, I mean, did he say he wants to retire? He didn't say, I'm going to retire, I'm hanging it up, it's been great, everybody. Thanks a lot for all the years, see you later. He said, I'm going to take some time off, and I'm going to... Listen, first of all, that decision that happens, right? You don't just say, hey, I'm going to take a while off, and maybe I'll be back, maybe I won't. You owe it to the fans, you owe it to that belt, you owe it to this company, and you owe it to Johnny Hendricks to give him that opportunity to fight again. Unless you're going to retire. You know, I told you guys a million times, he's got plenty of money. He can retire. That's a fact. He could absolutely, positively do that. There's no, hey, listen, I'm going to go on a cruise and, you know, I'm going to be gone for 2 years and, you know, I'm going to take a hiatus. I'm going to take a leave of absence. I'm going to, whatever the hell it was that he was saying, that's not how it works. It doesn't work that way.
I thought I won 3 rounds out of 5. I thought the last round was the decisive one, and I left everything I had. Like I left it all in the octagon. People can say whatever they want. It's up to the judges. But I give my best, and my hands up to Johnny Andres. I get very emotional after a fight. You know, I have so much stress, so much stuff going on in my life right now, and I don't know what to say. I mean, it is what it is, you know. Sorry, I'm late. I had to get some stitches. You know, they give me some stitches, but I didn't want to miss this. I just get hit. I just came out of a freaking war, you know. The guy that hit like a truck, you know. My brain get bashed left and right inside my skull, you know. So I just need to think and you know what I mean. See what's gonna happen, you know. I get very emotional. Anyway, I'm gonna have a talk with the guys and see what's gonna happen, you know. And I say thank you everyone for the support, you know. The UFC always been there with me, and they always support me. They're the one who made me my lifestyle with my family. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to them. And I will never turn my back to UFC, never, ever. Like I said, I need to think. I have stuff going on in my life, and I cannot. I need to make a point in my life, okay? And this is my personal life. I cannot speak to you about this. You're a reporter. I know your job is to make things public, but I have a personal life. I keep personal some of my stuff. And the only thing I can say about this fight is I give my best. Like it or hate it, I give everything I had, and I want to say thanks to Johnny for the fight, and thank you for the fan and everybody. I hope they appreciate the show. I give it all. I left everything in here and there.
November 4th, 2017. UFC 217, Bisping versus St-Pierre. New York City, New York. After almost 4 years away from professional MMA, George St-Pierre returns to the cage and moves up in weight to face middleweight champion Michael Bisping as the main event in the UFC's second offering at Madison Square Garden.
Has anybody got any questions for George? He hasn't been here for 4 years. Or does no one give a fuck? I don't think anyone gives a fuck, George.
It's a little unclear for the first time in 4 years, and he hits his mark, 184.4 for George Rush St-Pierre. And look at this, what a moment, what a time. George St-Pierre posing for the fans and attendance, appears to be in great spirits.
Well, George, welcome back. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here, guys. Thank you for the support. Oh, yeah. What does it feel like to be back? And what does it feel like to be preparing after 4 years out of the octagon to fight for the middleweight title tomorrow night?
It's 4 years in the making. I've been wanting this for a long time. I've been waiting for this for a long time, and I get it. Madison Square Garden for the title against Michael Bisping. It can't get better than this.
Good luck to you tomorrow, sir. Welcome back. George St-Pierre, ladies and gentlemen.
George is a fucking pussy. That's my thoughts. All you guys that are booing, unlucky motherfuckers, because tomorrow night, that fucking pussy is going down. 4 years he steps away. He's a drug cheat, he's a pussy, and tomorrow he's going to be a loser. Boo me, fuck you.
Good luck to you tomorrow, sir. Michael Bisping, ladies and gentlemen.
Mike, this was obviously GSP's first middleweight fight. Did you feel like a middleweight in there to you?
No, yeah, he looked like one as well. He looked huge. And I said going into this, I said he'd probably be the stronger man. You know, he's one of those types of guys. He's a consummate professional. So no, he certainly felt like a middleweight when he had his arms wrapped around my neck.
Once again, George St-Pierre is the new UFC middleweight champion. Holy smokes, who predicted that? What a night here in New York City. We'll say goodnight. We appreciate you watching our coverage all week long from the Big Apple. For Mark, Luke, Esther, Casey, the rest of our crew, thank you so much once again for watching. We'll see you Monday for the MMA Hour.